Greetings and salutations, Mega Wizard 79 here with another episode of Skyrim. So, in our last episode, we went into Mercer's ill-gotten estate and came out with very foreboding information. The fact that he's trying to steal the legendary treasure known as the Eyes of the Falmer. We'll get to more on that later. But, yeah, right now, we are going to be heading over here to, the Nightingale Hall. But before we do that, though, well, I didn't realize that this sword was put into my inventory. I forgot that, Carlia gives you this, I think probably after you finish that quest, or... Yeah, it had to be after you finish that quest. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting sword, as you can see. It's called the Nightingale Blade. Looks to be a basic... I want to say it looks like a short sword, like in the vein of the Roman gladius. Or, yeah, definitely. It looks like a Roman gladius, that's for sure. But in any event, yeah, it looks like to be a simple short sword. Well, anything but simple, as you can see right here. It has the ability, it has absorbed 25 points of health and 25 points of stamina per second from the target. So, yeah. Whoopsie! Wrong thing. But yeah, very powerful weapon, to say the least. Let's see. Lamentably, no, I'm not going to be using it. Because where we're going, I'm going to find that much more useful. Because Nightingale Hall is infested with undead, specifically ghosts of previous Nightingales. So yeah, Dawnbreaker just makes the most sense. Not to mention it, as I've stated before, it is the weapon that I'm going to be using primarily in regards to melee. Oh no, not now. Ah!
I'll tear you apart.
Damn it. Alright, one sec. I gotta do what I do best. That's Dovahkiin. I think I use that one instead. Alright, let's see. Alright. Now, where is he?
No? Sorry.
Whoops! Wrong one! I meant to do Dragon Rend. Great, now this is gonna take forever.
Thank you. Your death will be swift.
Right then. Oh well, it'll be... No, that's Soul Trap. What am I doing? I want Lightning Storm. There we go. Alright, come on. Where are you? Get down here.
You just made the last mistake of your life.
Eat lightning! Oh wow, they killed it. Damn. Good job!
I think we can trust Cullen.
Actually, what the hell am I doing? That is the dumbest idea I've ever had. Ugh, get rid of those things.
Yeah. Let's see what she's on about.
That away. Alright. There we go. Alright then. Now then. Back to, my proper attire. I'm gonna need that. Put that on, that. Alright. think that should do it. Oopsie, forgot to take that off. That on. Now I got a dragon soul, so I might as well spend the soul. Oh, I have two. Put one there. Guess I'll hold on to the other one. Right then. Now then. Back to where we were going. Okie doke.
I'm glad you're here. This is the headquarters of the Nightingales, cut into the mountainside by the first of our kind. We've come to seek the edge we need to defeat Mercer Frey. If you'll follow me, I'll try to explain on the way.
Whoop. And there we go. Now this thing is going to turn translucent so that we can go through it. Let's ask about the Nightingales.
Gallus, Mercer Frey and I were once members of what's known as the Nightingale Trinity. The Trinity disbanded 25 years ago when Mercer Frey betrayed us by slaying Gallus and dumping his body in the ruins of Snowvale Sanctum. Indirectly, the Trinity is usually selected from the ranks of the Guild, although its existence is a closely guarded secret. The Nightingales protect the Temple of Nocturnal, a place known as the Twilight Sepulchre. She's the mistress of night and darkness, and the patron of every thief in Tamriel. Nocturnal isn't one for worship and reverence. There are no priests and no sermons, no services, and no alms. She influences our luck, and in return, demands payment. You're closer to understanding than you realize. The only difference is she doesn't demand payment in the traditional sense, and sometimes the cost can be quite high. Whether you know it or not, Nocturnal dictates how well we perform as rogues. Again, you have to think differently. Haven't you ever noticed how our luck behaves? Like a novice picking an impossible lock, or a blind man suddenly turning to face you as you reach for his pocket. It's through these subtle means that Nocturnal influences us. Nocturnal's whim is the greatest mystery to everyone. There have been volumes written on the subject. Does she exact payment when we die? When we suffer? Does she revel in our misery? No one knows. The return certainly seems worth the risk, though. From the moment you were struck with my poisoned arrow at Snowvale Sanctum, my path changed its course. Perhaps I couldn't bring Mercer back alive, but together, we were able to clear my name and to put Gallus's memory to rest. I'd always intended Mercer's fate to ultimately be decided by the Guild, and it seems they've spoken. It's my hope that you will, yes. This way, please.
Okie doke. So, yeah. So you can see the... What do you call it? Like, my apologies. Like, I thought this would be... but, I mean, technically, yes, there is a thing in there that's going to be translucent that looks just like this. But, yeah, there's a doorway... There was a, you know, like a wall here before, but now it's gone. Wow. Man.
So this is Nightingale Hall. I heard about this place when I joined the guild, but I never believed it existed.
The assumption that the Nightingales were just a myth was seeded within the Guild on purpose. It helped divert attention from our true nature. What's wrong, Brynjolf? I can almost hear your brow furrowing.
I'm trying to understand why I'm here, lass. I'm no priest, and I'm certainly not religious. Why pick me?
This isn't about religion, Brynjolf. It's business.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'm just a little surprised just because of the fact that there's a lot more light in here than there probably should be, considering it's a freaking
This is
cave.
Nightingale Hall. You're the first of the uninitiated to set foot inside in over a century. Now, if you'll both proceed to the armory to don your Nightingale armor, we can begin the oath.
This is enough to make your head spin, eh?
That's for sure. Granted, of course, it's just a lot of reused
This
assets.
is enough to make your head spin, eh?
I mean, to be honest, this is just like a lot of reused assets when you really think about it. I mean, heck, it almost feels like the catacombs underneath Helgen, to an extent. You know, just repeating textures and all that. It's not terrible, though.
I think we should trust the lass and take the deal.
You appear hesitant to don your Nightingale armor. What's troubling you?
I think we should trust the lass and take the deal.
Alright. Alright, so now that stuff got added into my inventory. Alright, so, the Nightingale armor. So, as you, this right here increases your stamina by 40%. Like, now, the Nightingale armor is much more combat-oriented than the Thieves Guild armor. To be honest, it really is kind of, I mean, how do I put this? This armor would basically be just as much a home in the Dark Brotherhood as it would be in the Thieves Guild. More so to the former than the latter, just because of the fact that, like I said, it is more combat-oriented. Like, you know, it makes your illusion spells cheaper, makes your, one-handed attack stronger, although it does give you lock-picking skills, so it's a little give and take there. This is useful for both assassins and thieves, but this one here, this one is the kicker. It's like increases your stamina by 40 points, increases frost resistance by 50%, so yeah. It just, I don't know. It just feels like, I mean, it looks cool. Looks really badass, if you ask me. You know, you can explore this place if you want. Not much really to explore right now, because the place is a total wreck.
Okay, lass. We've got these get-ups on. Now what?
Beyond this gate is the first step in becoming a Nightingale.
Whoa there, lass. I appreciate the armor, but becoming a Nightingale? That was never discussed.
To hold any hope of defeating Mercer, we must have Nocturnal at our backs. If she's to accept you as one of her own, an arrangement must be struck.
What sort of arrangement? I need to know the terms.
The terms are quite simple, Brynjolf. Nocturnal will allow you to become a Nightingale and use your abilities for whatever you wish. And in return, both in life and in death, you must serve as a guardian of the Twilight Sepulchre.
Aye, there's always a catch. But at this point, I suppose there isn't much to lose. If it means the end of Mercer Frey, you can count me in.
What about you? Are you ready to transact the oath with Nocturnal? By transacting the oath with Nocturnal, you're entering into a business deal. You'll be provided all of the power and knowledge befitting a Nightingale. You're free to use those powers as you see fit, to further your own goals, or the goals of the Thieves Guild. In return, you'll be required to defend the Twilight Sepulchre and everything within when the need arises. More importantly, upon your death, your spirit will be bound to the Twilight Sepulchre as one of its guardians. Once the oath has been struck, the terms are binding. Knowing this, are you ready to undergo the ceremony?
Kinda have to if I want to continue with the quest.
Good. After I open the gate, please stand on the western circle.
I think we should trust the lass and take the deal.
Right then. I just want to get that out of there because since I have these boots on, there's no point in that spell anymore. got... Nope, not that one. There we go. That looks badass. It's cool. I really like the cape. I just wish it didn't hug you the way it did. Alright. So Brynjolf gets east, she gets north, I get west.
I call upon you, Lady Nocturnal, Queen of Murk, and Empress of Shadow. Hear my voice.
Ah, Carlia. I was wondering when I'd hear from you again. Lose something, did we?
My lady, I've come before you to throw myself upon your mercy, and to accept responsibility for my failure.
You're already mine, Carlia. Your terms were struck long ago. What could you possibly offer me now?
I have two others that wish to transact the oath, to serve you both in life and in death.
You surprise me, Carlia. This offer is definitely weighted in my favor.
My appetite for Mercer's demise exceeds my craving for wealth, Your Grace.
Revenge. How interesting. Very well. The conditions are acceptable. You may proceed.
Lady Nocturnal, we accept your terms. We dedicate ourselves to you as both your avengers and your sentinels. We will honor our agreement in this life and the next until your conditions have been met.
Very well. I name your initiates Nightingale, and I restore your status to the same, Carlisle. And in the future, I'd suggest you refrain from disappointing me again.
That's a Daedric Lord for you. Sorry, Prince. Daedric Prince.
Now that you've transacted the oath, it's time to reveal the final piece of the puzzle to you. Mercer's true crime. Mercer was able to unlock the Guild's vault without two keys because of what he stole from the Twilight Sepulchre, the skeleton key. By doing this, he's compromised our ties to Nocturnal and, in essence, caused our luck to run dry. Well, yes, but the key isn't only restricted to physical barriers. All of us possess untapped abilities, the potential to wield great power securely sealed within our minds. Once you realize the key can access these traits, potential becomes limitless. Good. Then you understand why this is about more than just Mercer's lust for power. If the key isn't returned to its lock in the Twilight Sepulchre, things will never be the same for the Guild. As time passed, our luck would diminish to the point of non-existence, and whether you know it or not, our uncanny luck defines our trade. Very true. In our line of work, it's quite rare we set out to return a stolen item to its rightful owner. Before we depart, Brynjolf has some business to discuss. I suggest you listen to him.
Listen, lass. There's one last piece of business we need to settle before we go after Mercer. The leadership of the Guild. Carlia and I had a long discussion before you arrived here. Thanks to your efforts, Mercer's treachery has been exposed. After we deal with him, all that remains is restoring the Guild to its full strength. As a result, we both feel that you have the potential of replacing Mercer as leader of the Thieves Guild. I've been at this game a long time, my friend. A long time. I've stolen trinkets from nobles and framed priests for murder. I'm good at what I do, maybe even one of the best, but it's all I know. I've never been one to lead. Never desired it, never cared for it. Don't want it.
uh,
Ha! Spoken like the leader of the Thieves Guild. Just don't lose yourself in the role. We have a bit of an errand to run before your coronation.
I always like that one though. It's like, you know, like they like it when you're like really when you have that, you know, when you just have the balls to just basically do this stuff, because it's like, well, you're a thief. It's like you need the confidence. You're doing shit that most people wouldn't want to do.
Then it's decided. When this is all over and Delvin's contacts assure me that we've regained our footing in Skyrim, we'll handle the details. Until then, we have quite the task ahead.
He's not kidding. Trust me, he's not kidding.
I've been poring over the plans you brought us, and I'm convinced the eyes of the Falmer are in the Dwarven ruins at Erkenthand. Carlia and I will meet you there. Prepare yourself, lass. This will be a fight to remember.
Okie doke.
Aye. And some of what Carlia said is starting to make sense. Mercer may have damaged our reputation and raided our coffers, but this goes well beyond even his twisted form of larceny. Old Delvin kept calling it a curse, and we all laughed at him. Looks like the joke's on us. If you would have asked me that yesterday, I'd have said no, but now I think our chances have improved. Look, call me crazy if you like, but I trust Carlia. I don't think she'd lead us down a suicidal path. Besides, I'd rather die with some of Mercer's blood on my blade than spend the rest of my life regretting that I ran the other way.
Okie doke. So yeah, once again, events. I got the events backwards. Yeah, first we go to the Dwemer dungeon and deal with Mercer. And after that, that's when we go and basically head to the location where the we actually go into the Twilight Sepulchre itself to return the key, and by doing that though we have to fight the ghosts of the Nightingales there because they're the guardians and all that stuff. But but that's only after we would get the key, not before.
Hmm? With the skeleton key missing from the Twilight Sepulchre, I'm afraid Mercer's seen to it that none of us can benefit from Nocturnal's gifts. You merely transacted the oath, signed the unwritten contract with Nocturnal. In order for us to receive our abilities, our end of the bargain, I'm afraid the key must be returned. If Nocturnal was truly displeased with me, with any of us, she wouldn't have answered my call. I have no doubt that we still hold her favor, and I believe it gives us enough of an edge to defeat Mercer Frey. Yes. Now that you're a Nightingale, you may consider this your home. You'll find that this place offers many things that will help you in your endeavors, as well as a wealth of information for you to learn. Once the skeleton key has been restored to the Twilight Sepulchre, I'll make this place my home as well.
Yep, she'll be here in this location pretty much for the rest of the game and all that junk, like going out, doing... I mean, she'll go out every once in a while to basically do some thieving, but for the most part, she'll just be here.
Sorry, lass. I've got important things to do. We'll speak another time.
Right. Anyway, okay, so for the most part, yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, because I'd rather... what do you call it? I just wanted to get this out of the way. I thought there would be a little more combat, but once again, I got the order of events wrong. But hey, we got to fight a dragon. That was pretty cool. Anyway, so in the next episode, we will really delve deep into this. What do you call it? I just want to... What do you call it? Before that, though, I do want to get rid of some of this junk that is kind of weighing me down right now. Especially, this armor here. I'm not really going to be needing it anymore because I'm going to be using this for the rest of this questline. So yeah, until that time though, this is Mega Wizard 79 bidding you all adieu.